morning, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well. One second, and we'll get going. Hold on. Doing one little thing. Oh, are you serious right now? Okay, let's try this again. So, welcome everybody. I am Darkpool Algo. Thanks for joining me on another morning watchlist building session. And today is CPI data. So we should get a greater than expected move one way or the other. CPI, it really shouldn't affect the market, but guess what? It's going to, because the market is so hungry for some news, right? It wants to know what's the dealio, right? Sorry, I'm trying to get my other camera or my other light turned on here, and it's being a pain. So if it doesn't work this time, I'm just going to go without it. There we go. All right, y'all can see me now. All right, so CPI data today. On top of earnings, so we should get some pretty decent moves. I'm going to go ahead and go through our news real quick, check in on the stream. All right, morning, y'all. Whoa. Sorry, that was weird. All right, we're going to get that going. Say good morning to the chat. All right, and bring this down here so that I can see y'all when you message. Y'all messaging me. All right, so let me get this set up. There we go. All right, that is super bright. Look at that, I'm super tired. I feel like it's a little bright, so that's better. All right. Disney had earnings. A couple companies had earnings today. Sonos, Zynga, Motorola. Yeah, there's just a bunch to get through. As usual, I'm just going to go through and grab the ones that we usually trade. We'll look at those from a couple different perspectives. Let me just make sure I got my magic celts up here. Magic celts. Okay. Zynga, UMC, Sonos. Zynga, I know that we've traded Zynga before. Fourth quarter EPS at 6-cent loss versus a 9-cent gain. Yep, they didn't like that very much at all. Revenues $695 versus $718. Quarterly bookings, like, they had horrible earnings. Why are they even recovering at all? Well, let's go penny stock. That's why. And it's just been trapped in this overinflated range for quite a while. Earnings were horrible though. Let's check out Twilio. Twilio shares 20 up 27%. And this is going to be a peg stock, which means that it rallied up. It broke above its key levels. It's above its 50-day, and it's going to continue to move up, right? I like the move from 245 to about 265 on Twilio. I know that the 300 March 300 calls were like $1.65 yesterday. Obviously, they're going to be super overinflated. That is a $50 move. How do we play these? We wait and see if they have a continuation coming up. They have a trading zone that runs about 243 to 270. So basically, the 50-day to the weekly mid to monthly mid. So 270 to 305. As long as we can get some consolidation here over the next 4-hour periods, maybe a little bull flag forming, definitely look for the break of the weekly mid, and then we can make that run on up. We got to hold that 50-day though. Squeeze released should fire off for the next day or so, but there can be extreme profit taking, and if we have bad data coming through and the market just dips, not even good earnings can help a stock out. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Overnight, ES's futures are not looking the way I want them to look. They're moving up. I'd rather them be flat to, well, they're kind of flat, I guess. They're they're setting up for pretty decent, either big old nasty bull trap or it's going to be a ripper. I'm looking at the ES tick chart and it's forming a bull flag right now over the last hour, so it's pretty decent. What else do we got here? So Twilio earnings, nothing really, no other tech earnings that would be of interest to us. Vimeo shares are down 20%, right, on Q4 earnings. Jeez. Vimeo's a $14 stock. YouTube's $1 billion. I mean, what do we do here? We try to find a bottom. It looks like sub 10, and it can get really weak. Wow, sub 10, and it goes back to a penny stock. I don't have any support. I don't have anything below this level. Nothing. There's nothing holding this stock up. So, fire sale may be happening on Nvidia or on Vimeo. Lumen Technologies, EPS at 51 cents versus 53. All right, another loss. Boom. Sees free cash flow at 1.6 to 1.8 billion. And another one bites the dust, right? Chilling at 12, wake up at 11. Got room down to 10. It's important we find high quality stocks. Disney shares are up 9%. Look at that, a 10% gain on Disney. Pretty decent, right? We had no way of knowing this, and we don't trade earnings, but Disney looked pretty decent. Weekly mid 156.91 holds. We got a monthly mid at 159.50. Above that, then Disney has its 200-day at 169. All right, Disney may rally up to its 200-day. Usually it moves about $4 a day, but Disney could potentially move 168.50. Right, watch for this big old bull flag to break. Maybe some profit taking at the open. Let's see what we got here. We could afford to move back down to about 153, excuse me, yeah, 153 for support. So back testing this daily Keltner channel top for a move back up through the weekly mid, monthly mid up to the 200, which is also the weekly top. Double green, slingshot squeeze released, radiant fire is getting ready to fire off. We are consolidating, big giant bull flag forming. Disney should be super fun today. Yeah. I wouldn't trade this week's. If you're looking at something, maybe next week's 170s might be interesting if you can get them for a set. If you can get them for a deal, should be fun. Excuse me. What do we got here? GE said it expects to take a non-cash pre-tax impairment charge of about 7 to 8 or 0.7 to 0.8 billion after GE Steam Power agreed to sell part of its business to EDF. Ooh, it's getting hit with a charge of almost $1 billion. It's crazy. What is it, 741 now? Hold on, I need to find out. I know CPI comes out, so I want to be around for that. I don't want to be. So 8:30 Eastern, is that correct? Yeah, 8:30 Eastern, we have jobless claims and CPI data. People forget that we had jobless unemployment claims today too. Everybody's like, oh, this CPI is going to affect the market. We have jobless claims, continuation claims, CPI for January and CPI year over year, CPI for food and energy, all at 8:30. So in about 45 minutes, we're going to see how this is going to move the market. Okay. So, yeah, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves or anything. So we want, all right, where was I? GE. Aluminum prices hit its highest level in 13 years, raising over 1% to $3,300 a metric ton. Wow. That's craziest. Driven by persistent worries about smelter closures and shrugging off the large inflow of inventories, shares of AA and Cenex have been rising with prices. AA, isn't that Alcoa? Look at that. Ooh, beautiful. We wish I would have seen this earlier. We could have kind of caught on to some of this. That would have been a good equity buy right there. 14 to 18. All right, so Alcoa is it's in trifecta mode. Right, trifecta mode means it breaks out the top of all of the major Keltners. Well, it's almost. So if it clears 72.50, 77.88, and 87.24 is next in line for Alcoa. Regeneron, REGN, and Sanofi were granted FDA priority review of its application seeking approval of its drug as an add-on maintenance therapy for children aged 6 to 5 with moderate to severe atopic dermatitis. What's that going to do for Regeneron? Well, it's going to help the stock get probably up out of its little range that it's in and overtake the 50. I'd probably, maybe Sanofi is a little bit easier to trade. I don't think there's 700. Yeah, Sanofi is a little bit better to trade. Not liking that $5 move, but check out this price action, right? It only moves maybe 15 cents. And look how sporadic this move is. I wouldn't trade either one of those off of that news. Find something else. Let's look at Moderna, for example. Yeah, I know Moderna's on the do not fly zone, but it is setting up, right? It's fighting, it's 50, it's 200. It's setting up to try to break out of a longer term wedge downtrend. This is kind of that little foot, right? Kind of looks like a little foot, the L foot. Theoretically, starting to get some stack positive moving averages, long-term squeezes setting up. I'm actually looking at some Moderna 170, 175 calls, right? I need to find something that's not in the tech sector. And based off of this move from 150 to 164, this is its second attempt at clearing the 5200. I don't want to put it back in the stable, but I will keep an eye on it. I've spent a lot of time looking at Moderna, so I don't want to just be like, oh, I don't know anything about this stock. Yeah, it has a tendency to move pretty good. Premarket is down, and I'm gonna look for 160 holds. I like the move to 170. Above 170, I think we touch 175. We retest these highs. If once we clear this 178 level, right, which has been triple top, 177.58, it's going to real quick rally up to 185, 190. So we may rotate Moderna back into our list, okay? Yeah, I know. I'd rather rotate Moderna than Boeing, right? I know people that traded this yesterday, and that's just frustration to me. One thing I learned yesterday is I broke some of my own rules. I got greedy because I was all proud of myself for calling the gap. Yeah, I got checked real quick. I still ended the day about 8% account growth, but it was 30%. Yeah, I'm still net, but I learned a valuable lesson. Just take your profits, get back in. I'm having this hard time transitioning from a margin account to a cash account. I still think I can only do a certain amount of trades, so I may go on a bender next week and do a bunch of quick small cap scalps just to retrain my mentality to scalping, getting in and getting out, and realizing that I can take multiple trades per day. I'm either going to do that or I'm going to trade futures for pretty heavily during the day, because with futures you can get in and get out, get in, get out, get in, get out. I'm just trying to build up that muscle memory, right? Get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out, and not be like, oh, I have to hold this or it has to go to my levels. I've got many years of swing trading that I've got to retrain. So You know, progress, not perfection. We're in a marathon, y'all. Equifax, Marqeta, Udemy, Regeneron, not seeing anything that we normally trade. ENVA, S-Power, SunPower, that's a fun one. We used to trade the crap out of that. Sells commercial and industrial solutions to business to majority owner Total Energies, TCE for $250 million. Well, Total Energies didn't like that debt. If Total Energies can hold 58.59, well, if it doesn't break yesterday's low, yeah. As long as it holds higher than yesterday's low, I think we get that bounce back to $59.50 and then $60. That's too bad. SunPower used to be a fun one to trade. OAS, Oasis Petroleum. How about that move in crude yesterday? Huh? Ripping your face off. Yeah. OAS authorized a new 150 million share repurchase program, which replaces a 100 million share historical program produced billion bunch of oil. bunch of. The move. This is pretty easy move to see here. Rally up, pullback, bear flag at moving average. Possible back test the 4-hour bottom for a move back up to the 4-hour mid. So if 138 holds, we see 142. If we can get above 140, we see 141.68. Above that, we hit 146. Should be a pretty easy move. This is a textbook slingshot squeeze, setting up, ready and fire, setting up. Yeah, once these get double green, if we can get some strength in the lower time frames, lots of squeezes releasing. You want to play an energy play OAS today, maybe XOM, right? ExxonMobil, right? Very similar pattern, right? Rally, pullback, rally, pullback. 4-hour bottom, they've got to get back. Gotta get back above. So this daily cloud move, 79.28 to 80.48. It should be a pretty solid, easy to see move. When we get up to this 80.48 level, we're either going to do a head and shoulders, right? Or we're going to just make a new high. All of that really does depend on how, yeah, a bunch of things. The crude. Yeah, what's wrong? So Chevron? Laz showed me one the other day. Oh yeah, Chevron's just riding that trend line. Whew. Easy peasy lemon squeezy moves, right? What do I need to say anymore? Y'all can see this by now, right? Double green, ready and fire, mid thrust buy, high or mid compression squeeze, right? Hasn't curled over yet, but I think daily bottom cloud, right? Right off this 4-hour mid or our top. There's not a lot of meat left in the bone, right? 137, the 138, 139.50 possibly. I mean, there's a $1.50 if you play it right. It should be pretty decent. It's got a dividend day ex dividend next week, so just be careful with that. All right, MGM fourth quarter EPS at 12 cents versus a 2 cents. They additional 10 cents per share, right? 3.1 billion versus 2.7 billion. Quarterly MGM China net revenues at 315 million or 3%. Quarterly room revenues 557 million. Casino revenues 541 million. Did you all know that? They make more money at their hotel than they do on the casinos. It's true. It is true. You think they're comping your rooms just for the heck of it? Mm-mm. All right. Monthly cloud top, right? That's a gorgeous move from 46 to 50. Above 50, pretty significant resistance up in here. However, stack positive moving averages, like this is a momentum stock, right? On any pullback, buy the dip. Maybe do a trend lines for support there. As long as that trend line support holds, buy the dip on it. MGM, pretty decent. And what do we got here? Uber. Uber came out with the earnings. They're up shares are up 6%. Nice move compared to Lyft. Remember Lyft's earnings? right? Lyft had earnings, and what happened? This was Lyft earnings right here, right? So this is sympathy off of Uber, right? Those earnings were jacked. Well, it broke out of that big giant zone that it was in. It's hitting some serious resistance here. Lyft in sympathy with Uber since Lyft had earnings last week, right? Or beginning of this week, yeah. So the IV in Lyft is still probably pretty significant, but sympathy play off of Uber earnings, Lyft to 49.50. Uber, however, right? This is a big move. Stack positive moving averages. We're getting a little yellow over here. You know, we broke above the weekly cloud, above the daily. We're back testing it. We've got monthly mid rejection and then 200 above it, right? So the safe move for Uber is above this 200 moving day simple average or simple moving average, right? Keep in mind though, the 50 is below the 200, so we're still kind of downtrending. But if you wanted to go 44.50 to 48, I mean, there's a $4 move there. Expect the volatility. Expect there to be look for some profit taking early too. Very easily back to the 4-hour top and then start melting your way back up. Okay. All right. How are we doing? All right. U.S. President Joe Biden and Saudi Arabia's King Salman spoke on Wednesday about stabilizing energy prices and the status of Iran nuclear talks and the war in Yemen. I'm not sure what they talked about. You all need to pay a little bit more attention to Putin. Oh, Vlad, that man scares me for real. Well, I grew up in the era of Red Dawn. Y'all ever see that movie? Russia's attacking. Patrick Swayze. Yeah. South Korea said it's ready to tap its strategic oil reserves if the Russia-Ukraine conflict disrupts crude supplies. And the bull bear spread in the American Association of Individual Investors weekly survey was -11 to -17 last week's bulls fall 24% from 26, neutrals rise to 40% from 29, and bears fall to 35 from 47. You're absolutely right. That's what a choppy market does to you. You heard? All right. Thanks for joining me on Wu-Tang Wednesday. Yesterday was kind of fun. I will be streaming the open for the bullish bears this morning. We had some pretty significant earnings that I want to go over. Twitter has earnings today, right? Net, which is Cloudflare, has earnings today. And I'm going to miss one. EXPE has earnings today. I like that stock. Affirm has earnings today. Right? Affirm. I don't know. I was clued in on this 2 weeks ago, and I don't know why I didn't trade it. I got scared, I guess, or I just forgot about it, to be honest with you. It wasn't on my list. Twitter earnings, right? It's pre-anticipatory run. Oh, never mind. Wait a minute. They're saying earnings after the close. What? Oh, they screwed that up. So I guess Twitter had their earnings this morning. They're supposed to have it after the close. That's news to me. News to moi. All right. Before the bell, earnings. Not seeing anything that we've. Datadog. We trade Datadog. D-Dog. One of my friends in high school was named B-Dog. B-Dog. Dude, whoever wrote this news is just. Looks like they had earnings before the bell as well. Did they make everybody do their earnings before CPI data? Maybe not. Interesting. It's like they know what everybody trades. All right, here comes the pullback. Ooh. All right, so remember, 6 o'clock we get a rally, which should be happening in about 3 minutes. Futures are currently pulling back right now, which is good. They're setting up for some moves today. So, like I said, our events calendar today, 8:30 is a big time. So we got weekly jobless claims, continuation claims, consumer price index, and for month over month, year over year, and food and energy. Then at 10:30 we have natty gas inventories coming out at 10:30 Eastern. So let's not get suckered into something. Okay, let's look at our futures real quick. I gotta go wake up my knucklehead. I'll be right back. Okie dokie. Our futures charts have been moving kind of the way we expected it. Right. We kind of forecast this move. Right. We pretty much forecasted this move. What happens now? Should be interesting to see. Today would be the day to find out if we go and we form this move here, or if we start forming this type of move here, right? Where we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, definitely could chop, right? This is getting into late February, beginning of March. When's the next? Hold on, let me check something here. Does anybody know when the March FOMC meeting is? Because if we knew that date, we could draw a line and then potentially draw out some plays, right? When is it? Let me see if I can find out. OPEC on the 1st. Is it March 2nd? Rate statement? No, that's Canadian. Let's look. Hold on. There we go. March 16th. Oh, my daughter's birthday. Awesome. Okay. So what do we got going on here? What kind of moves could we be looking at up? Now y'all can't see that, so I'm gonna make it a little bigger and make it white. Very easily could do this up until March. Right, what are our other options? Let's say we have this kind of a day. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's I think this looks more like a game plan, right? So we will keep an eye on it. I'll leave those charts up just like that. So like I said, we pulled back, we're up, we're making it, we're at a key decision level here. Do we rip through the 50-day and make a new high, right? Start going like completely recovered, or do we reject and pull back for the next couple days, right? To support and just chop back and forth. Like it's we will definitely find out. So far so good. It's following our little move here, right? A little bit of a bull flag forming on the 4-hour. It's trying to really break out of that, right? It's really trying. I haven't drawn a line across this yet, but there's the high. That's the actual level there. We hit it, came back twice towards it, and then we're chopping. Everything else looking pretty decent, bringing it down to the 30-minute. Should I? There we go. Trying to get some specific numbers going on here. So back at 1 at it, back at 2 at it. We're getting to the point of, how do I do this? Let's see. Trying to get the best view of it. Okay, I know it's kind of hard to see, but we're back. We got 2150, 200. Looking for the 21 to bounce off this 50, which should give enough momentum for us to get back up through this 6. This is a very significant fib level. It's the 382 and its previous high, and it's a 618 retracement. We're really trying to get through it. CPI data is going to really affect what happens. Like I said, until we break the high of yesterday, we can easily just chop back and forth. Looks like there's already created a little bit of a range here, right? Very important possible 1, 2, 3 Wu-Tang reversal happening right here, right? That 1, 2, 3, or 1. So 1, 2, 3. Above the 2 line, we get long. So far, so good. This could be a big old bull trap, though, so be careful. Like I said, we have CPI in 25 minutes. All right. I think I spent enough time on that, right? Looking at the tech-heavy NASDAQ. Very similar looking moves, right? Very similar looking moves. That's actually here. However, yesterday we didn't make that new high. Again, with our moving averages on the 30-minute, 2150, 200, they're stacked positive so far, and above 156950. Wow, wowzers! There it goes. It just broke it. So or no, it broke yesterday's high. Is this the rally into CPI and then fatal moves? Very well could possibly be. The only difference on the NQ versus the ES is we've got an overhead 200 that we're trying to overtake. So we have a lot more overhead pressure than we do with the NASDAQ, or excuse me, with the ES, right? The SPY is a better setup for success than the NASDAQ in that we're just testing the 200 again. So if we can clear it and retest previous highs, we would set up for that kind of move here into FOMC, which is March 16th, the one that we're really concerned about, right? Okay, moving on, the rest of the market. Looking at the Dow, which has been pretty decent over the last little while. It's actually probably one of my more favorite moves, right, that's setting up. All right, broke out previous highs, with conviction, closed in this trading zone, this little supply zone here. I think we trade up to the top of it at 3,600. No, I think a little short of that. 35,932. And then we may pull back to these levels for some support. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? This kind of moves, similar move to this one right here. Again, I'm going to mark out FOMC so that we know, if we know, if we have a point in time that we know is going to affect the market, we can look at how things move into that and how they move out of it. Like I said, this is we will know by the end of today the movement for the Dow. We've got the 2150 coming up to cross over the 200. Price action for the last day or so, we were above the 200, right? We're doing well. Okay, we are trading in that zone though. So look for that move to the top of the zone, and then we could easily pull back to some support levels here. I've got 35,500 is support. Just mark that on your chart. It's a key level right there. That needs to be a different color. I'm gonna use green and not so thick, and make it dashed. Okay, that's our support level. Resistance is futile, but above that it's 35,932. Yeah. All right, that's the Dow component. Let's go ahead and check out. Wow, big ripping right now. Everything is, the ES and the NQ are just, they're rallying. However, the yen is up, bonds are up, crude is up. Like, let me do this. Let me give you this overview on a 2-minute chart so that we can see how bonds are up, the yen is up, everything else is up right now, right? Gold is pulling back, crude is trying to make a new move, but this TLT, this bonds being up with the ES is a little concerning to me. This may just be a big old bull trap, so be wary, be careful, okay? However, look at the moving averages. We've got some stacked positive stuff going on here, right? We are finally bullish again. The top row is bullish, as bullish can be on the 2-minute. As we increase our time frames, we want to see that consistency with those moving averages. Gotta wait for them to load. Don't know how long it's going to take for them to load. There we go. Right? The Russell, right? However, where's our 200 on these? Let's see if I can show you real quick. Our 200 is usually above it. All right, so the old Russell, right? 2150, 200 stack positive. The Dow, 2150, 200 stack. Like, we're getting some stack positive moving averages, right, on our lower time frames that'll eventually build to the upper time frames. Okay, so let me just do the Russell real quick, and then we'll go into gold and we'll get going on the rest of it. Okay, so Russell over the last day has definitely made a recovery move, has made that 1, 2, 3 reversal breakout. It's above the 21. It's going to retest the 50. We have a snow line, which is going to be a magnet for the Russell above 2100, right, which is previous psychological and low resistance. Get this over here, right? At 2102 level is the top of that trading zone. This snow line is going to be a magnet. What happens here is either rejection pullback or breakthrough, retest the 50, pullback for support, trade in that zone up to the next level. We've broken back into our big old megaphone, and the Russell is looking good. Now, there's only a certain amount of money in the world, and it can't flow into everything. If it flows into everything, we chop, right? So if they're flowing into small caps, either the ES or the NQ is going to have to suffer because there's just not that volume going into it. Lack of volume, lack of money, then we have an elevator right down to the downside, okay? Hopefully all that all makes sense. There's just, I mean, it's all about money. Like, is there enough money to go around? Okay. Gold is making its move. I believe we're going to get a little bit of a pullback. I don't know if there's no real key level that I can see here that would provide me here's the top, here's the bottom. I like where this white line is as support. So that is 180, 1826.9 as support. Maybe we get that one pullback here, right? And that would set up this one, right? This 1, 2, 3, right? Pull back to 4. It can even go as low as this, right? And then fifth wave up, okay? The safe play on gold is this turn of the fourth to the fifth wave, okay? So I'll wait for a pullback. As we see, maybe next week we look at getting into gold at this 1820 level for that rally up to about 1840, okay? It's pretty, I'm trying to draw this out as plain and easy as it possibly is, right? Let me just change my stupid levels on this thing. I'm trying to get it all consistent, right? So that we know based on line thickness, not color, what moving average it is. So we're going to get a 50 200-day crossover or rejection today, right? And if this pulls back to here, gosh, I wish there was I think that's a pretty decent level to use, right? I'm not mad at it. We'll see how far we pull back. We may just pull back to this 21, right? This white line. So this may be the move. That might be the pullback there. If that's the case, then we need to be on the lookout for how good do you want me? Do we want me to call it here? Right? 1600. All right, I'll leave it like that, and we'll see how it worked out tomorrow. Okay, we'll see if I know what I'm talking about. All right, crude, big move yesterday, right? Falling back, big, nice move yesterday. Let's look at crude on the 30. Got about 15 numbers before that CPI data comes out. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll look at CPI data together and how it affects the market at that time. Crude. Remember, let me just make this bigger so y'all can see what I'm talking about. No, that's gold. This is the crude. Okay, so are we in a recovery pattern? Possibly. I just snapped that really quickly. Snap those lines real quick. So we use trend line. Something like that, possibly. I think that's pretty in line with what we're looking at. Right. We'll definitely keep an eye on that. I think I got the C point. I mean, how good would I be if I just left this there? And that's the move. We'll keep an eye on it. I think we see continuation in crude. However, this white line right here that y'all can't really see, it's been resistance, resistance, resistance. Support, resistance, breakthrough. Failed support, resistance, resistance, resistance. There's a white line right there. That's that 0 line. That is the regression line that price will bounce within until it breaks through it and use it as support until it fails it. Okay. All right. Quick break. You know what? I'm not going to do a quick break right now. I'm going to do a couple of FlowTrade charts and then we'll do a quick break and we'll watch the active CPI numbers. Okay. Alrighty. All right, what you're looking at now is the smart money dark pool and block trade algorithm software provided by FlowTrade. They've created their own flow index algorithm. The flow index tracks large hedge funds, institutional purchases or transactions. Smart money dark pools and block trades. The flow index is a leading predictive indicator, meaning that if it is diverged bullishly away from price, that means that smart money is net buying into a position as price is falling. Smart money can't just dump hundreds of millions of dollars or even $1 billion into a position, because what will happen is this right here, right? So they dump $1 billion in, it artificially inflates the liquidity. Once the liquidity settles and they realize that there's no liquidity left, the settling position will actually be lower than when they got in. So what they have to do is, oh, I know, I feel you on Tesla. Tesla played with my emotions so hard yesterday. So what they do is they scale into positions as price is coming down, right? So as price is coming down, they're buying into it, right? So they get in their positions approximately here. Yes, they take a little bit of a dip, but they know that it's coming to key support. And then as it finds that support, they start selling out of their positions as price is rising. I'll find a good example of this, not with Tesla. Tesla just isn't a good example for it, okay? All right, so good morning. Who was here first? Andrea, good morning. You want to check out IWM? We will definitely check out IWM. TSM, IWM, NVIDIA, TLT, American Airlines, and Tesla. Now we have extreme bearish divergence line on IWM. Absolutely, okay? What is going on with IWM? There's a massive amount of dark pool orders sitting down here at the 202, right? All these little white dots that you see, those are orders, okay? So the divergence that I was speaking of is really easy to see with this one. So we have the divergence that occurs approximately, let's see, that's played out, right? This divergence is here, right? Divergence occurs at approximately this level here. And that's where the flow index is heading in one direction and our price is heading in a different direction. Y'all can see those lines, right? I know they're kind of hard to see, but they're there. I mean, they're there. So we've got divergence that's occurred there. This divergence here is played out, right? This new divergence here is played out, and that's what this red indicates, that there's a bearish divergence. So look for a reversal point with IWM, and you can look at playing that divergence down to the point of where price and the flow index have diverged, right? So that's approximately the 205 level, right? So currently trading at 206.61. Play the move back down to 205. Below that, if the flow index continues to pull, right, if smart money is selling out of IWM, it will continue to pull price down with it. Now we've got dark pool support. These are the last 3 days. There's a lot of block trades happening here. There's a bunch of them at 202, 202.89. So that's a downside magnet. So if we break, right, 205.36, 205.51. So if we play the move back down, right, 205.50, right, there's your support. If we break that, we're going to come down and test 205.36 below that, right, which would be, I think, a break of trendline support as well. Right. We break trendline support. come down. The flow index is still net selling. I think we're going to come down and fill up all of these orders. Okay. All right. So do y'all understand what I'm saying here? So this order right here, this dark pool order came in for 202.89. It came in on the 9th after the close. Well, where was price action at that time? Price action is at 206. We have dark pool orders down here. What do you think is going to happen with price? It's going to bring it down. Anytime you see this kind of stuff, right? Massive orders that aren't being filled. Whew. All right, I'm going to bring this out to the 15-minute chart so that we can get a bigger overall perspective of IWM and how things look a little different, right? From the 15 to the 30, or from the 1 minute to the 15-minute, right? This bullish divergence is played out. Price action is pulling back. The flow index is testing its trendline support, right? Can definitely pull back to these levels, right? There's a gap. There's dark pool levels right here that haven't been filled. We do, prices is trading with the flow index, and it's bullish for now. We're starting to get a little bit of a downturn. How significant and how big this is, we'll definitely tell in the next 8 minutes. We'll see what's going to happen with IWM. Okay. All right. Next one up on the list was TSM as well. What's up, Killa? All right. TSM. What do we got going on here? All right. So the flow index has made a higher low and higher high, and it's trying to recover some previous resistance. So the flow index has got, it got a little bit more room till it starts retesting its previous lows, which is also price action previous lows. Okay. These ones are easy to, these ones are fun to look at because we have a series, we have a range, we have a dark pool at 128.58, and then some regular block trades at 122 on the dot, 122.31. So there's your support levels, right? It's pretty much eating up all these block trades. So they're buying in, well, let's see, at the time, they're buying into it. It's increasing price, right? Price is coming up, respecting these dark pool levels, and finally got to this regular block at 124.88. At that time, flow index was trading with price, so they're buying into it. Now we've got this trading zone right here that runs basically from here to here. A price action. Price wants to trade up to the top of this. It does, since it's broken through it and it's back tested it for support. I like TSM move to about 127.82 as long as the flow index can continue to make higher highs and higher lows. If we get some significant divergence, then I might want to readjust my position a little bit, right? So that's TSM, Viddy. All right, let me say my mornings. Morning, Andrea, Johnny, Terry, Killer, Billy, Johnny, Pete, Barrett. Morning, welcome. Sharita, morning, welcome. Watchlist, what's up? And DJ, nice to see you. You know who I don't see? I don't see Laz, which means that my man must be doing some things in Viddy. So, flow index again is making a series of higher highs and higher lows. This divergence here, right? I'll just illustrate divergence again for you. We have divergence here, okay? Well, what do you mean by that? Well, we've got the flow index. Price action is going one direction. Flow index is heading in another direction, right? What happens is price must return to the point of divergence. This is so clear. Hopefully this is a great example of it, right? And then the flow index starts trading with price action, 1 to 1, 1 to 1, 1 to 1. The flow index is making higher lows and higher highs, so it should continue to pull price up with it. Keep in mind though, the flow index is right at a previous level of resistance. So if it can reverse, it might reverse here, okay, and come back down to start its next cycle up and down and up and down and up and down. Okay, price, we've got regular and block trade support at 266.26 all the way up to about 268 on the nose. Okay, previous trading zone is traded out. Well, it's getting into it right now, right? Trading zone runs basically here to about here. Right. Pretty easy to see zone. Flow index making higher highs and higher lows. If we can get through these dark pool levels, I think we come up and test previous highs, 270, 272s. I had the 275s up. I'm looking at those. If the flow index reverses here like it did here, right? Came up, it was making higher highs, higher lows. It hit here and it pulled back. Possible setting up for something like that as well. Got about 2 minutes before the CPI data comes through. I'm going to see if I can get a couple more of these done real quick. Looking at TLT, we've got nice bullish divergence. Flow index is making higher lows and higher highs. Up until this point here, right here, price was trading with the flow index. At this point here, price, let's see, flow index is heading that direction. Price starts heading in this direction. We come down to a cluster base, right? 130. That 138 is a base. We should remove off that base back up to these magnets, these regular and dark pool magnets at 139. Above 139.27, right? Actually, basically, we have the bottom of a previous zone here, right here. See this one, right? Look for rejection, or look for a move up to 138.76. If we can start trading into this zone here, right, which is pretty easy to see and should be pretty easy for price to continue to do, I think that those are some pretty good levels. If we get above 139.56, we've got a lot of stuff back here, right, at this level. 140.17, right, this level here. So upside target 1 is 130. Gosh, I wish I could read that. 138.76. Target 2 would be 139.56. Target 3 would be 140.30. Okay, CPI data should be coming out soon. Let's pull up our. Let's go with our 1 minute chart. Oh, did it get released? All right, so it's out. Initial flush. Ugh, that's, oh man, wow. Market did not like that. Come on. All right, CPI, what's our CPI data? What? Where's it at? Come on. If it's high, it's going to be an issue. All right, yeah, it's an issue. Unemployment claims. All right, lowered unemployment claims, right? Higher than expected consumer price index. That means the market is going to, bonds are going negative, right? This is no so bueno. So all those swings that you held overnight, that you were like, yay, the market only goes up. Not so much. Everything is dumping off of that. Wow. Except for crude. Crude isn't being hit as hard as everything else. If bonds had caught a bid, then I think we could see potential rally into today. But this is a pretty significant move to the downside. All right, let me see what Twit's got to say about it. And what else is going to make it move? All right. I mean, that's the 1 minute chart. Obviously, that's macro time frame. Let's look at the 2 minute. Right down to the bottom of that trading zone on the Dow, remember. 10-year Treasury yield rises after CPI data, last at 1.968. Monthly increase in inflation to 0.6%. Year over year 7.5. Expectation was 7.3. Right, 7.5 inflation, higher than expected. Goodbye tech. Okay, That's just what it is. So longer term effects. All right, let me just show you this as well. This is Apple, AMD, Google, NVIDIA, Tesla, SPY, QQQ, and the SPX. Right? What's going on with Google? Y'all see Google doing anything? It doesn't show on here, but I get it. Google is 2809. Right? Google's down here. Like there's no candle, but Google just gave up all of its gains. So how do we play this today? Right? Well, depending on the market and how it opens, we may get some quick reversions to some key levels and then a continued move to the downside. This is ugly. It's real ugly. All right, there's that crude move. Okay, so where do we find safety in this, right? Unfortunately, they did this move pre-market. There's no circuit breaker in place. What do I mean by a circuit breaker? During normal trading hours, there's a 6% circuit breaker to where if the ES or the NQ ever drops more than 6%, they halt trading. Okay? There's not one of those in place pre-market. So this can go to zero right now. And there's nothing to stop it. It'll just go to zero. So kind of had a feeling that this is what they were going to do. All right, so just keeping an eye on Twitter, seeing if there's anybody that I trust that's giving any sort of direction or information. Yeah, trading sideways, good for butterfly. Iron flies, Billy. I like trading the iron flies. I really like trading iron flies. Not so much condors. I think you get a better risk reward for the iron flies. Iron fly is you buy you sell a call and you sell a put at the same strike, and then you buy wings to protect yourself, right? Either 5 or just whatever equal distance away, and you get a bigger credit, and they're good for overnight trades. All right. I don't even know what's going on with TweetDeck right now, but pretty decent pullback. I'm gonna put this out on the 5-minute chart so it doesn't look as nasty as it was. Right? Let's go 15. 15-minute chart. This is like, maybe it's nastier than I thought it was. We're at 15,000. We went to 14,825. That's almost a 100-point drop. That is a 100-point drop. Oh. All right, we just broke the 200 on the 15-minute. I'm really concerned for tech. The Dow is touching its 200 right now. Out the 30-minute chart. Let me get that finished, getting that loaded. So all these gains, all these pre-market gains, all these gains from yesterday, erased, right? We broke the 50. So our 200 on the 30-minute is down at 14,760. All right, pretty significant drops happening right now. Inflation rose 7.5% over the past year, even more than expected. Potential. What's he saying? Now 45.40? Sorry about your 45.40 level. You broke that. Again, U.S. rate futures now see 50% chance of 50 BPS hike in March from 30% pre-CPI data. FedWatch. I'm so happy I'm cash right now. This is opportunities. So what should happen here is we're going to get a quick pop up, and then a continued runoff, right? Gold may lead the way on this. All right, that's at 382. Remember, this was our turning point. All right, so we're gonna get a quick 1 to 2 candle pop, and then a continuation move to the downside. I'm not trading the futures right now on this at all. I'm just watching it so y'all can see what happens. I'm gonna take a quick break, go wake up my children. When I get back, so here comes that quick pop, right? And then continued downside move. This is just a typical short. When I get back, I need to look at American Airlines, Tesla SPY, Twitter, and Disney. Are those the only ones y'all want me to look at? So let's do that 1 to 2 candle up, right? Gold, that white line's that key level of support. It's going to reject it and continue to move downside. Bonds, if bonds catch a bid, we might have a little bit of hope, but so far it's looking like okay, so smart shorts will start shorting here. Hmm. 50 B point March rate height. That's going to be sketchy. Oh, look at gold with its nice recovery. Oh, gold really recovered quickly. All right, let's keep an eye on these and see which one's going to recover. NQ is coming up to resistance. Like if it's a down day, then there should be another leg down on this. Okay, I'll be right back. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, you are getting caught on your Tesla call. I don't know what strike you have. Let me see. Hmm. Oh crap! The only thing I'm holding is some QQQ puts. That I got as a hedge against my long calls yesterday. All right, so pretty spot on. Rejection, next leg down. Gold may be decent today. Crude might be decent today. Bonds. This is going to be interesting what they do with bonds, but the end is, yeah, everything else should fall down. See how Russell kind of leads the way, right? Rally up, 2 bars up, and then continuation down, 2 bars up, continuation down, 2 bars up, continuation down, 2 bars up, continuation down, right? So larger downside moves ahead for the ES, or for our equity futures. However, crude gold should be a nice recovery. Bonds is going to be interesting, and then yen should continue to move to the downside. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a break now. I'll be right back. If you have requests, make sure. Yeah, SPY puts. Hey, way to trade, Terry. Way to go. If you're getting calls, buy a put for a hedge in this market because this kind of crap can happen. All right, I'll be right back. Give me a second. All right, so I'm back. I'm gonna wrap this up pretty quickly. So I think we see continued movements down today to key levels. That 618. I don't know if this is a buy the dip or if it's a continued sell off. It's not looking good. From a larger perspective, let's look at how that's going to affect the 4-hour. So big move down. We're coming up on the ES to test. I hope I have enough time to do all this. All right, so we're coming down to test the 2150. Right, if we break these key levels here on the ES, right, we can move all the way down. Oof, that's sketchy. All right, so the 21's coming up. If we bounce off the 21, then we get a continued move to the upside, which would be great. If we fail the 21, we retest the 50 below the 50. Right, we just trade down to this zone. I think we get that move back down into here, right? Possible, maybe there's some trendline support here somewhere. Maybe. We just have to see. That's a nasty move. And even what I'm more concerned with is that bonds are falling too. The bonds continue to sell off and the ES continues to sell off, then we have a pretty big move down. Gold held its 21. Looking at NQ. Oh, grab the wrong one. Sorry. Whoopsie. All right. So the NQ came down, touched the 50, touched the 200. If it breaks below this, right? If it breaks below 14,800, then we get a downturn move today. Okay. All right, that's it. Let's go over the last flow trade ones, and then I got a jet. I got to get prepped for the next stream. Where did I leave off? TLT, American Airlines. Dark pool resistance at 1879, 1850. I guess I need to look. And what that move caused, kind of damage that caused. 1850. Regular block below that, we hit 1820, and then a bunch of regular block support. Higher lows and higher highs with the Algo, or with the flow index. We may find some support around the 1825, as low as 18 for American Airlines. TSM. Did I already do TSM? Yeah, I thought I did. TSM 25. TSM is testing its trendline support right now. It has room. 4-hour top breaks, so 125.50, 123.86, or excuse me, 123. Below 123, we hit 120. Right, that's a big pullback for TSM. I like the move down to about 123. Okay. All right, and then finally, did I do Nvidia yet? I thought I did. Yeah, I did. Disney. Ooh. So Disney had earnings. Let's look. Blowout earnings. Is it enough to hold from that massive pullback? I like the move down on Disney to about 153 for a continuation up. We'll have to see how it holds up against that massive drop. It looks like so far it's done pretty good. 156 down to 150.53. And then Amazon. Amazon didn't like that drop at all. Amazon's got a lot of room. All right, Amazon to 31.53. Below that, 30.80, 30.45. Amazon on Flow Index is showing trendline support, trying to make higher highs, higher lows. 31.63 is dark pool support, regular block trade support. Below that, 3100's incoming. What did I say? 31.63. 31.55 is a 21-day. Breaks a 21. It's got the 34 at 31.14. Dark pool is 31.58. All right, so it's moving down to that dark pool level, right? That 31.60 is 4-hour mid. If it breaks that, we have 4-hour bottom coming. Okay. All right, that's it. I got to run. Thanks for joining me. I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm Dark Pool Algo. Have a safe day. Stay safe. Stay green. Just don't. We're very bearish right now. Okay. Just keep that in mind. We're extremely bearish. So look for downside plays. Look for longer term support levels. We may touch most of those today. All right, that's it. Got to go. Have a great day. We'll see y'all tomorrow, and stay safe, stay green.